definitely did have to come off. Let's. Oh, come on!
Tales of Weird Stuff presents Epson Equity I.
After the Four Swords Adventures live stream, Thanksgiving, my annual 21st Amendment party, my Homebrew Club's annual holiday party, I'm finally back down in the basement recording some video, and it feels good. But it's already the middle of December, so I figure I better get on that. So I'm going to take a look at this lovely Epson Equity I computer. I picked this up at an estate sale at some point over the summer. I have some suspicions about it. It comes with the original monitor in the box, comes with the original keyboard in the box, which is awesome. In the pictures from the estate sale, which I didn't keep, I should have kept, the computer was also in the original box. And when I got to the sale, the box was nowhere to be found. I asked around. Most of the people working there had no idea what I was even talking about, even when I showed them pictures on my phone. I asked the person running it, and she said, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. It was something like, the box was damaged and gross, so we threw it away. And I looked at the computer, and other than some yellowing, there didn't appear to be anything wrong with it. So I didn't think anything much of it. But I've kind of had a suspicion building in the back of my mind. I have some worries about this computer. We'll see how it looks inside when we go ahead and take it apart here in a moment. Before I actually start ripping this thing apart to take a look at the insides, there's one funny little bit of this story that's kind of neat about how things come together. This computer did not come with any of the original documentation or the original discs. However, when I was working on the Tandy 1000 video back in September, I came across these discs that I picked up at another estate sale or garage sale or something years ago. And I completely forgot that I had. But they are the correct discs for this computer. So it's pretty cool to be able to, get the band back together, so to speak. All right, well, no, let's go ahead and let's take a little bit of a look at this thing. And so on the front, it has a bunch of switches for configuring a whole variety of things, including the kind of keyboard, whether or not there's a coprocessor. I don't think any of this is going to be visible. Whether or not there's a math coprocessor, the amount of RAM, the kind of monitor. These could come with a variety of video cards. Now, I looked up the model number of the monitor, and the monitor is an EGA monitor. So this most likely they had a weird video card that did EGA, did monochrome modes, it did Hercules modes, and it did some other kind of unusual stuff. So this should be the good video card for one of these, and configuring all the various things. Now I'm a little bit suspicious about it because all of these switches are set to off, which for at least like the number of floppies settings, those are either both on or one off and one on. So there is no valid settings that is everything off. So I don't know what that means. And then on the back, we can see, and I hear something loose in there. So there's some writing here. What does that say? I think that says serial. I don't know what that says. Serial something or TAC serial. There's an X by the parallel port, so I wonder if maybe this parallel port was bad. There's a slot cover missing here. Here's the video card. It's interesting that there are where there could apparently be slots back here, but there's plates there that are covered. That's odd. And this would be the bottom if you stood up in kind of a tower configuration. Hiding behind these little doors in the front is the power switch, and then the keyboard connector. And that's it. So the front of the case is super yellowed in a really weird pattern. But other than that, it looks pretty decent. So I think we can just take this thing apart and see what's going on inside. Hopefully this won't be... There won't be much repair required, is my hope. I've been very fortunate lately. Now, my understanding... Well, wait, do I have to take this off? Because this is just for the back. Well, let me take off the side screws. Okay, so because these are feet, it appears that there are little covers over where the other screws would be. I'm going to use a little flathead screwdriver to pry those off to reveal the screws hiding underneath each of those. Is that a captive screw, or is it just not? No, it's not a captive screw. Epson was not so cool as to use captive screws. They just don't want to come out because this screwdriver is not magnetic. So is that enough to get this off, or do I have to take... Okay, so I think I have to take the back off. I don't know why I didn't get out my good screwdriver set. I'm still putting everything back together down here from having had various events at my house, so I'm still a little discombobulated, let's say. We'll go ahead and use a $2 word. Okay, so then this should come right off. Okay. And then, okay, so the screws went through these back parts of the case, so that definitely did have to come off. Oh, come on! Okay. Well, that would explain what was wrong with the box. It's full of mouse poop. So, presumably there were rodents living in this, and rodents had gotten into the box and had probably chewed through the box and had done their rodenty things. Now, I am not gonna touch any of that, and I'm gonna go find rubber gloves. Oh, yuck. Well, so the good news is, so I'm gonna use this as a pointer because I don't want to touch anything in there. So there is a battery down here, and it is corroded as corroded can be, but it's not on the board. It's attached by this little jumper, so I don't immediately see damage on the board from the battery. And honestly, looking at what of the board I can see here, I don't see damage on the motherboard from the rodents. And I also observed that this, even though this was covered, this is a hard drive controller. So somewhat unexpected to me, there is a hard drive in this. So that's actually really good news. We can find out what's on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, just ew. This is why slot covers are important. Cover your slots, man. Cover your slots. Definitely better looking than that poor old Spark that I worked on a few years ago. All right, I'm gonna go get some rubber gloves because this is really gross. I don't want to touch any of it, and I'm probably gonna put something else down over this surface, something disposable. And I will finish taking this apart, and then this is gonna need This is going to need a very thorough wash and drying, plenty of drying time before I actually try to power it on or do anything with it. So this is filming will be spread over multiple days for sure. Okay, all right, let's go find some protective devices. I've already done a little bit of cleaning in here because it was so gross I didn't even want to look at it anymore. So now the trick is remembering that because I'm wearing gloves, don't touch anything. So we'll see if I can make it through this video and not touch my face with the stupid gloves or anything else. So step one is going to be remove every single thing from this computer because I want to get it out. I want to clean the case out. I'll take a look at the things as they come out. This is a Paradise PEGA card, so I don't think this is the weird compact original card because I think that they were something else. Notice how I didn't touch my face there. Ha ha ha. This is a TI MFM controller with Seagate ROMs on it. Okay. So it's plugged into the top and there, and stripe is to the left on both of them. These are notes from myself for later, not that I ever have problems with this kind of thing. What I did to make later cleanup easier is I just took a brown paper bag and cut out the bottom and opened it up so that I could put it down. When I'm done, I'm going to very carefully fold it all up and throw it away because presumably there will be some particles of yuckiness on it. All right, so what is... I'm not sure what happened, but something completely went sideways with the software setup on my other recording computer. I'm now using a completely different computer. I had to totally give up on that one. I think somebody broke the driver for the hardware encoder and I don't know what the deal was. It started recording at 1 or 2 seconds per frame. And I have no idea. I tried a bunch of things to try to debug it, get it working again, and I finally just had to give up. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with this particular project, though. After getting a bit of a bath, this case actually looks pretty good. I'm as upset as I am about how the recording turned out. I'm very happy about how this case has turned out. You can not even really tell the horrors that this case must have seen. I had to apply a bit of navel jelly to this area to try to clean up some of the corrosion. It's not perfect, but I think it's fine. Now, the motherboard, which I'm going to go ahead and install in here, looks great. With the exception of there being, get that all into place, there being one little bit of schmutz in here that I think I'm going to need to just go after with a little pick and try to clean out, and a little bit of corrosion up here on this corner, but only on the top side. You can't, I mean, it looks brand new. It looks so good. You know, any of the little spots where there was a little bit of some kind of like dust, or I don't know what the particles were that were on this part. I know what the particles were that were on this part, but the particles that were on this part, I'm not sure what they were, but they all cleaned up great. You know, I just went after everything with warm water and an old toothbrush, and it looks fabulous. So now it's finally time to test this thing. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put it part way back together just so that I can get things kind of into place and get everything a little bit situated. One of the other parts of the case, so I'm going to install this part of case, at least just like kind of dry fit it. Now there was a little bit of rusty corrosion on here that I also went after with the navel jelly. I'm a little bit less happy about how that turned out than this, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be fine. So I'm going to put this into place so that I can re-hook up the floppy drive and the power supply, which are just over here out of frame. And I'm going to orient it this way so that this time I'm not going to have a fan pointing directly at the mic. I have learned that lesson. So I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to hook up, but I'm going to make lots and lots of spurious metal on metal noise here. And no, this is not my industrial album debut. I did get the monitor out of the box, and I'm going to try to... Okay, good. The cable. I was worried for a moment there that the cable wouldn't quite be long enough. One thing I have noticed about this already is that the power switch seems to be stuck. Fortunately, it looks like it's stuck in the on position. Because if it was stuck off, we would have a problem. But I think I can use other monitors with this, and they will work fine. So that is the power hooked up, and I was able to check my footage and ensure that I'm hooking up this power supply cable correctly. There is a missing pin on the motherboard and a missing wire on the cable, but I did go back and check the other video footage just to be sure. Hooking that up usually there's some sort of plastic guides that prevent you from being able to hook it up incorrectly, but there was none of that on this, and I feel like hooking that up backwards would be a real bad way to end this video. But the way some of the things have been going, it would maybe be about par for the course. Now this floppy drive that's on this is a bit interesting. Instead of having the usual sort of closed door mechanism, I've noticed that it has just a button which won't click if there's not a disk in there, or is this... No, I already... Okay, so I'll put in a cleaning disk. Okay, yeah, it just needs to have a disk in there. A little rubbing alcohol on the cleaning floppy there, and lock that into... That is a very odd mechanism. I don't know that I have ever seen another floppy drive that had that kind of mechanism. Okay, and then I'm going to plug the monitor in, and it comes on, so that is a good sign. I'm going to adjust the knobs to the middle, if I can find the... Okay, so there isn't like a middle lock on that, but there was one. There's one for the contrast. And it has a button here to switch to that's labeled amber, so I'm guessing it has like an amber monochrome mode, which is cool because that is... Amber is my preferred kind of monochrome. That's it. All right. I think everything is good to go on this. Oh, I didn't hook up a keyboard. Now I'm 99% sure that this is... Oh, that's a good sign. And of course it's going to complain about the keyboard. I'm 99% sure that this is going to use an XT keyboard. But the keyboard that I'm going to use with it is one that is switchable AT and XT. Okay. Keyboard error, diskette error, system options not set. Okay. There's what appears to be two keyboard connectors, or two floppy drive connectors on here. So I may be plugged into the wrong one. Let's see if it'll... So keyboard error, press F1 to continue, and the keyboard seems fine. All right, so this is kind of expected. We'll just let it go ahead and clean the heads there for a second. All right, probably good. I have the discs that were supposed to go with this. Let's go for broke and see if we can just boot straight into MS-DOS 3.2 or 3.2. 3.2 seems to be doing something. It's very. Oh, hey. All right. Something goes right. It's a miracle. Okay, so even though it complained about the keyboard, it complained about the disk drive, they both seem fine? I don't. So I wonder if what that means. So there are jumpers on the front here that appear to be misconfigured. So my guess. All right, I'm going to try a couple of things that I will likely end up editing out. I want to see if changing these switches around gets any of those errors to go away. But the monitor works, the floppy drive works. It seems to just work aside from being angry about imagined problems. You know, I guess the pain is real even if the problem is not. All right, I'm going to try a couple things here. So I've set it up for a non-enhanced keyboard, disable the coprocessor, left the RAM set for 640, changed the monitor to 80 by 25 color, and floppy drives I set to single, the parallel I set to primary, and the serial I left set at primary. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a try. And I'm gonna turn up the brightness and contrast so that hopefully it'll show up a little bit better on that camera. Fortunately, there's a big reflection. Okay, so it's still angry about the keyboard. System option set, so it doesn't complain about the floppy here. Is it going to complain about it the second time? No. Okay, so reconfiguring the floppy settings on here fixed that. I don't know why it's still angry about the keyboard. That is weird. All right, well, let's try the diagnostic disc, and I'm just going to hit the reset on the front. So right now, the only thing it seems to be angry about is that the diagnostics are not set. So I'm going to try and just set the diagnostics and see if at least that goes away. Okay, oh yeah, real-time clock. That is, it's Z4 o'clock. Oh, cut the green wire. Gonna reboot. Is it still gonna complain about the keyboard? Survey says yes. Still gonna complain about the keyboard. But the keyboard works. I wonder what the deal is. Oh, so there's system diagnostics in here. Let's see if there's anything useful in there. Oh, well, there's a keyboard diagnostic. Oh wait, is the device list? Whoa! That was exciting. What happened there? That was really weird. I wonder what happened. It just got angry and had a freak out. And it's going to complain about the system settings not set, presumably, because of the very... Oh, no, it's not going to complain about that. What? That was truly bizarre. I don't even know what to make of that. I'm a little concerned. All right, is the device list correct? Keyboard check. US ASCII. Oh. Okay. So this has two. This keyboard has an F11 and F12, which I don't think exist in the XT protocol. Okay, and it's looking for escape up there, and that's not where escape is, but that's fine. So what is missing here? Control? Okay, control. What did I get for... Oh, and that's the other control. Alt. Alright, well that looks all good to me. So, the keyboard fully works, but it still gets angry about it. The graphics test. Holy smokes. I guess let's run all of them. I wonder what that was. Was that the sync check? That is the sync check. I don't know. What is this? Okay, that was weird. Okay, so graphics seem fine. What does the system board test do? It did. What did it do? Wait a minute. Did I miss? Did I blink and miss it? System board check. Okay then. All right, well, I think that is good for that. Oh, good grief. Next, I want to, so I'm going to turn this off here, but I want to test out the hard drive controller here, and I'm going to make sure that something else hasn't gone screwy. All right, let's turn this off for now. Now, the hard drive controller for this. Oh, don't you fall. The hard drive controller here is a classic Seagate MFM, I'm assuming. Oh, wait, no, because I looked at this. Okay, that's right. So the drive is a Seagate ST238R, and I'm guessing that the R is RLL encoding. But by the time I started using PCs, these things were already dinosaurs. So I never really used these kind of, encountered these kind of hard drives very much. Let's see, how am I going to get that? Because I want to actually put this in the spot where it belongs. So I'm going to unhook the floppy drive. I don't have a lot of expectations that this is going to work. But, it would not be the weirdest thing that has ever happened if this if this drive worked. Because these things are, at this point, the mechanisms that are in these kind of drives were not meant to last. People were doing the best that they could with the technology available, but it was not. It is very common to go through a stack of these. I know I've had several friends who have gone through stacks of 5 or 10 of these, and one will work long enough to get some data off of it, and then that's all she wrote, so to speak. And after the weird power glitch that happened with this computer before. Is that improperly? It looks improperly. Okay. I'm especially nervous about this, that it's gonna, I don't know. I'm not holding out a lot of hope for this, but we'll as they say, we'll give it a good old college try. Well, it sounds like it's spinning up. That's amazing. I don't hear any... Oh, no. Those sound like seeking sound. All right, well, the computer doesn't hate it. Let's see. Will it boot from it, though? That's the $64,000 question. I hear it. Oh. I'm not. I'm not initializing either drive. At least that was not my plan. Let's say. Yeah, okay, let's see if it. Huh. That is interesting. I'm not. Alright, well, let's. I have a feeling this is not going to do anything. And I think there's a test in here so we can test the hard disk and see what's going on with it. All right, let's do the read verify. Let's do the seek check first. Wow, it cruises through that and it's making some sounds. All right, that seemed fine. All right, let's do the. So I feel like the write read check is going to be destructive, and the error detection and correction check might also be destructive, but the read verify check shouldn't be. So it started at 612 and is counting down very slowly.
One eternity later.
Well, okay. So maybe the old hard drive got tired. It seems stuck at 12. Let me grab the keyboard. Is it going to time out, or what is going to happen? That's weird. So maybe cylinder 12 is bad? I don't know. I don't think that explains why bad tracks 0, read error tracks 1. I mean, okay. If you can't read it, isn't it bad? Okay. Invalid drive specification. Oh, that's interesting. See if fdisk can see anything. No partitions defined. This disk may be bad. I'm going to try. I went and grabbed the Tandy 1000 that I worked on back in September. And I grabbed the XT IDE out of that. So I'm going to try putting that in here and boot off of that and see if we can see anything different. So it could be the disk is bad. That's always an option. That is always an option. that something just doesn't work. Especially in this house, let me tell you what. Or maybe before the person boxed this computer up and put it into cold storage, maybe they erased the disk. So, and this has a different version of DOS on it, right? Yeah, this has 5.0. Okay. Can it see? Oh. Oh, I can see it. No, it can see it. Okay. Silly. So it would be D. Invalid media type reading drive D. Okay. And what does this F disk say? So that's weird. That something fishy is going on. Total disk space 31 megabytes. Partition 502 megabytes. That is, and then that's the same size as the partition on the SD card. That is very suspicious. I guess then I'm going to try booting without anything bootable. And I will let that BIOS, the BIOS that's on the controller card, I will let it do its init. Well, there's some small improvement. I went and got a different keyboard that is an actual, just plain old XT keyboard, not a switchable keyboard. And now the weird keyboard error is gone. So that's something. It must just not like that other keyboard for some reason. All right, let's try this. Let's see what happens. We're going to initialize drive 1. Drive type table. So this is a 238R. So that's number 2. All right. Since this is actually a 10 megahertz, it says 3 All right. Let's try 3. You want to enter? Oh, no. I don't. I sure don't. I hear it doing something. Take approximately 2 minutes. All right. I'm going to hold you to that. So, it's been a couple minutes. It has stopped making noises that sound like activity. And the activity light is not on. So, I am gonna call it, I think. We're gonna call this dead. I reviewed the disassembly footage the best that I could. There are places where there is 1 frame of video every 25 or 30 seconds. It is so bad. I don't know what went wrong, and I also just realized that when I had configured things to use my other computer, that I had forgotten to rotate the desk camera, so the previous bit of footage was not. Anyway, this is the most bizarre case design I have ever seen. It is just, there are so many different little pieces, and there are a bunch of these little metal pieces that go in. I managed to figure out where basically all of them go, except for this one. I have no idea where this goes. I think it connects in somewhere back here, but I'm not really 100% sure. So maybe when I get there, something will be apparent and I can just, I don't know. We'll see. But the rest of it, there's some weird order of operations things to be done. But I think I've got it figured out. It is just super weird. And if I didn't even have that footage and someone just handed me this pile of parts, like, I don't, I doubt I would be able to get it put back together correctly. I'm not even that confident that I'll be able to put it back together correctly, having disassembled it and having had, those, the occasional still photo at random parts of the disassembly. So I'm just gonna give it a go, and hopefully I won't have a bunch of stuff left over. There are a ton of screws. So there's these, and there's a lot of them. And these are just the screws that go into the bottom plastic of the case. In addition to that, there are these 4 much more heavy-duty screws that go into these larger posts. So I know where 3 of these go. They go into these 3 large posts. I don't know where number 4 goes. Oh, number 4 must go back here, which is a little bit off camera. So number 4 goes in back there. There are these 2 screws, which are the slot cover screws. There are these 5 screws, which go into various places, like on the sides here and here, to attach some of the sheet metal pieces to some of the heavier metal pieces. So like this goes up in the front, and so one of these is going to pass through to attach this onto the side there. There are these 2 screws, which these were used to attach the hard drive into the hard drive carrier. Because the hard drive isn't working, I'm not gonna use those. And then there's these 2 with washers. I have no clue where these go. Not the faintest idea. I'm not going to grab them all. There's all these. These are the exterior case screws. Those I can definitely figure out where they go. I have kind of figured out why the motherboard and the slots are on a separate thing. And it's because you have to install the motherboard, install some of the metal framework, and then install the slots because of weird order of operations things. I mean, they may have saved a little bit of money on the physical case, but I just have to imagine the extra money that was spent assembling this thing. It feels like false economy. Okay, so most of the rest of this video is probably going to be played back at 10x, maybe with some edits. Definitely, almost certainly without the sound, because I don't want to get in trouble for using swears. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I feel pretty confident there's gonna be some spicy words. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and get to it. That's very odd. I'm looking at this and note there's 2 screws up here and 3 back here. But there's 2 up here and 2 back here. It doesn't look Like, I would think there would be some kind of marks back here if there had been a screw sitting underneath this. Oh. There are no threads in that hole. There was not a screw in this spot. That is very weird. This is designed to kind of be sandwiched, maybe. And I think one of these mystery things was like up here, maybe? Yeah, I think from the one image, these two go like that. That's the battery cover. This one is still a mystery. I wonder if it was down here somehow. That maybe? Okay. So there was a screw holding in the power supply back here. I wonder if that was one of these exterior case screws. I bet it was. Oh, no. I see what I did wrong. These are exterior case screws. Because this is where the case goes on. Okay, so then this should for sure go there. I was just being stubborn. This one also goes elsewhere. Okay, so now in addition, there are two screws in here to hold the power supply into place. And so I think I've accounted for all of the exterior case screws, but I still have one left. Unless that's went there somehow. But what would that have? I mean, that doesn't attach anything to anything. And it's behind that. I really do not know. That's annoying. And these screws, those look too small. No, those don't for sure don't go in there. All right, folks, here's where we are. These 4 screws attach the front faceplate, which is going to go on like so. Now, I believe that these go on like this. So that accounts for those two. Now, I have one extra case exterior screw. I have one extra screw with a, I don't know what you call these kind of frayed washer things. And then I have two other screws that have little washers. I don't know where those go. I have not the foggiest idea where those go. Now, these two, there should be at least one screw holding in the power supply. There is another spot for a screw over here. But when I was looking at that, I'll have to rotate this around. I don't see witness marks on here. This one I can tell just by looking at the marks on it. This is almost certainly the screw that goes there. So I am just gonna put that screw there. I wonder if these went on here on this side on the drive, because there's no screws in the side of the floppy drive here. I wonder if those two go in there. It's weird that there's washers on them. Where did I put that hard drive? I can look at the... So the hard drive has two of its screws on this side. I wonder if it was basically using those to help keep it in position. Aha. All right. So that's where those go, and they're basically acting as rails. Because now that's a better position for that. Okay. So I'm down to one mystery exterior case screw. And then that mysterious metal clip. Okay, yeah, that's better. And I haven't tightened everything down just in case I have to undo things again. Epson, a pox on you! Because now, fun fact, well, I guess it's a good thing I don't think I tightened these ones in, because, all right, while I'm here, let's put where does this go? Right there, I'll put that back in. Okay. So there's like 3 overlapping pieces of metal here that all have to be lined up and have to line up with the screw hole. Like, what? This is just mean design. It is just mean. Because I don't know how I can get those to line up. I may not put this screw in. Slot covers installed, but it turns out I was mistaken about these side attachments. These case screws go in here from the outside. I don't know why I forgot. So there's holes in the bottom, and from this camera, also in the top. Now I'm thinking about it. I have some recollection. So that means that there's not enough of these screws, because there would be 3 in the back, 2 on each side. So I should have 7, but there's only 6. I have some recollection that there was one of the ones maybe in the back somewhere that was missing. But what that means is, I believe, and that is going to be such a hassle to get at. Oh, sadness. One of these is the other screw to hold in. Oh, wait. No, I bet that's what it is. Haha. There was not one missing. This will be my number 7 case screw. This will hold in the power supply back here. And this goes underneath here. Oh, man. Okay. This has just been, yeah. This has been, and that one is especially fun to get at. This Epson has been quite an experience. Now, there's part of me that kind of wants to keep this, because there were at least some versions of the video card for this. Why is this not going in? Of the video card for this that had a weird 160 by 200 8-color video mode, which is weird. It's listed in the manual. It was listed in the Wikipedia article. The Wikipedia article actually had a typo, and I submitted a correction for that typo, because it said it specifically referenced the manual for this computer, but the manual for this computer said something different. I think Wikipedia originally said 120 by whatever, by 200, and the manual says 160. Which is a weird mode. Anyway. So I'm kind of curious about what programming that may be like. Like, how do you set that mode up? What's it? How are the pixels arranged in memory? Like, I have questions for sure, but also I already have too many 8088, 8086 computers, so this one will probably hang around for a little while, at least until I'm going to have a booth at SideQuest Expo in March. So maybe if I can get around to programming and playing around with it by then, because I'll try to sell this at the expo, because I'm going to have a table there, and then I can sell it directly to a person instead of having to ship it or some kind of nonsense like that, because I want to keep the monitor with this, and I am not going to ship a CRT. That is not a thing that is going to... Oh, and you bozo. Everything about this computer has to be done in a really specific order, and that is really irritating. So a big part of me will be just happy to see this thing go and not be reminded about how annoying it has been to work on and to deal with. Okay. What is the magic incantation to get this to go? because I'm clearly not doing it right. Why are you being difficult? I guess this is its last act of defiance. Done. It's done, and boy howdy, I'm done. This little computer has been quite an ordeal. Not all of it was its fault, but a lot of it was. I feel like this is the worst designed PC case, computer case I've ever encountered. If you have encountered a worse case, I would like to hear about it. Share your tales of woe with me. Just to kind of underscore that issue, I had planned to have this all turned on and, I don't know, have something on the screen. But then I went to turn the power on and I discovered I didn't reinstall the bar that connects the power switch at the front of the case with the button on the power supply. So now I'm going to have to take it apart again. You know, it's one of those cases where you either have to laugh or weep uncontrollably. There's nothing to do in between. So I'm going to laugh. Damn it. I don't know that I'm going to do anything else with this computer. I kept kind of thinking about it, but it's just the scars. I have another old PC that I'm going to work on. That video is not going to get out in December, sadly. I think that'll probably be my first video in January. I'm planning to have another video in December that is going to be different. After this, I need something that's a little less painful to make. If you have enjoyed this video, if you have laughed at my suffering, there's a German word for this, and I can't remember what it is. Hopefully one of my German friends who watches my videos will remind me what that word is. But there is a word that is taking joy in the suffering of others. If you have done any of that, please click the like button. If you are interested in seeing any of my future PC repair videos or any of the other stuff that I have coming up, I strongly encourage you to click the subscribe button. And until next time, try to remember the good stuff.